Good night and welcome to Benalmádena's first English news broadcast. Digital Costa del Sol brings you every Friday all the information about this week's news. Benalmádena City Council will promote public employment and investment plans to reactivate the local economy after the sanitary crisis.
Employment and public investments plans will be the main tools that the local government will bet on to develop the day-after plan when the pandemic comes to an end, with measures in various areas that contribute to alleviating the foreseeable economic difficulties caused by the health crisis. Benalmádena's Mayor Víctor Navas detailed the lines of action and initiatives they are proposing for the development of the aforementioned day-after plan. The day-after plan, in which the government team has been working since the beginning of the health crisis and the state of alarm of COVID-19, will include initiatives at various levels, such as the implementation of employment plans from the administration itself, as a measure to generate jobs after the end of the confinement, with a plan for vulnerable people and coordinated by social services, and another oriented to the execution of public works by the local administration, thus supporting one of the most punished sectors, construction. In addition, they will ask the board for new employment plans similar to those that the autonomic administration launched in previous years. On the other hand, the state will be asked to modify the general law on subsidies to be able to act quickly with the third sector groups, and a public works plan will be created with an estimated investment of 50 million euros to generate employment and wealth after the health crisis. Tailor-made payment plans will be established for the large companies in Benalmádena that works with City Council, with the aim of maintaining jobs and thus facilitating the exit from the crisis. Also, the investment of 20% of the municipal surplus in social services is being studied to allocate it to aid to families and vulnerable people and to the hiring of personnel that allows serving more people with greater agility. Finally, the creation of the corporation table with AECOS, ASET and ACEB to assess various measures with real impact on the implementation of the city's productive fabric and the opening of an office affected by the pandemic and the economic crisis. This is a first package of emergency actions. The plan will be complete with new initiatives.
Benalmádena's Association of Merchants and Entrepreneurs valued positively the fiscal measures announced by City Council for companies and self-employed, asking the consistory to design actions for the return to economic activity.
The Association of Merchants and Entrepreneurs of Benalmádena valued positively the initial package of fiscal measures for companies and the self-employed announced by the Benalmádena City Council to help alleviate the economic effects of the COVID-19 health crisis. ACEB's president, Rosa González, encouraged the local administration to consult with them on other proposals that are not included in this package and to design the actions that will be carried out when it returns to economic activity for its speedy recovery with the consequent employment that it generates.
I would like to make a positive valoration of the package of fiscal measures that has been launched for companies and self-employed by the City Council of Benalmádena, so it may help to palliate the economic impact of the crisis caused by COVID-19. I would also like to encourage the local administration to continue working and consensuating all these type of measures with us so that they are really effective and fulfill their commitment, which is to help improving the situation of businessmen and self-employed workers of the municipality.
Y para que cumplan su cometido, que es ayudar y dar un poco de respiro a los empresarios y autónomos del municipio.
The package of measures contemplates that SMS and the self-employed may postpone up to 30,000 euros of tax debts for a period of 6 months and 3 grace periods. In this sense, and following the line of the measures proposed by the theme, ACEB adds that is necessary to establish a flexible payment plan for each company and that these prorated debts can be paid without expenses or interest. Regarding the deferral of the several taxes related to the hospitality industry and the service sector, they consider that the requirement that they maintain their activity and all the jobs should be eliminated. The number of establishments that will be closed at the end of the year is unknown, and those that manage to resume activity will undoubtedly do so progressively, given the exceptional situation in which we find ourselves. In the same way, the request for suspension of the license fee for the provision of the commercial service of maritime excursions at the Puerto Deportivo de Benalmádena this year 2020 has not been met at the moment. We applaud the minimum security and berth surveillance service that the Marina has the obligation to provide, but the companies that own the boats cannot be paying a fee for an activity that they are not developing. González expressed her satisfaction with the prioritization in the payment of supplier invoices, the postponement of the tax on mechanical traction vehicles, and the exception from the payment of fees and ICIO for catalogued minor works. In the same way, it has applauded the creation of the directory of Benalmádena's establishments that are open or providing home delivery during the state of alarm created by the City Council with the close collaboration of the ACEB to promote local commerce. As for the actions to be carried out when full economic activity returns, to help make the recovery as fast as possible, the ACEB requests different measures from the City Council in line with the claims expressed by the CEM. It should be borne in mind that companies and establishments will operate in a standardized environment, but that it will be different from the previous one of the crisis.
During the confinement caused by the coronavirus health crisis, the smallest ones of the house are demonstrating to be real heroes, and different administrations and the security forces want to reward their good behavior.
Every day, the citizens pay homage to medical staff and security forces from their balconies with the sanitary applause, and now it is the local police force of Benalmádena who wants to pay tribute to the children of the municipality, who are also proving to be small great heroes with a lot of courage with their good behavior at home. To reward them, they have created a drawing contest to make the confinement of these kids more enjoyable. Councilman for Security Javier Marín announced this initiative aimed at children under 12 years of age. The theme of the contest is "What is for you the local police?" and in order to participate, they must make a drawing accompanied by the name and age of the participant. Once the drawing is finished, you must take a photograph from the mobile phone of a relative and send the image to policialocal@benalmadena.es before June 1st. All the photographs received will be published every Monday on the Facebook page of Benalmádena's local police. The 3 drawings that most likes accumulate on Facebook until June 13 will receive a prize which will be awarded during the celebration of Local Police Day next September. All participants will receive by email a collaborator ID card from the Benalmádena local police for their assistance in the fight against the coronavirus. In addition, the Mayor's Office also wants to reward the good behavior of our little ones, and special diplomas have been drawn up with which the Benalmádena City Council congratulates each boy or girl whose parents request it for their good behavior during the state of alarm, for doing homework, taking care of hygiene, and collaborating in housework. To request the sending of these diplomas, parents must send a private message through the profiles of the Benalmádena City Council on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram with the child's name, age and a contact email to send them the diploma. It is a small gesture of recognition to encourage and congratulate the children of Benalmádena for their great behavior and commitment during the days of the state of alarm. This initiative is being carried out in many municipalities such as Calahorra or Lamban, as well as other similar ones aimed at rewarding or reassuring the smallest members of the household, such as the municipal orders to allow the movements of Ratoncito Pérez, a Spanish associate from the Tooth Fairy.
Andalucía is one of the autonomic communities with less incidence of coronavirus, having a total of 6% of confirmed cases, data that goes down to 5% in the case of deaths.
The Andalusian president, Juanma Moreno, highlighted the progress of the recovery process on people who had been affected by the coronavirus in Andalucía, whose number now stands at 1,838 cases, which is 138% more than a week ago, when this figure was of 665. After maintaining a video conference with the Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez and with the rest of the autonomic presidents, Moreno has stated that 99.7% of the citizens abide by the rules after 4 weeks of alarm. The reasons for believing that we are going to defeat the coronavirus are greater, although it has appealed to prudence to be able to combat this virus. The Andalusian president referred to the figures for Andalucía and specified that there are a total of 10,006 people infected. 4,950 people have needed hospital admission, of which 1,655 are still admitted. 619 people have needed admission to the intensive care unit, of which 366 remain in intensive care units and 799 are people who have died. Andalucía continues with a much lower incidence level, with 6% of all confirmed cases and below 5% in the number of deaths compared to the rest of the country. In the health field, he asked the Prime Minister to guarantee the supply of the necessary material, and it is here where he explained that the Andalusian government has obtained by its own means around 19% of the material it is using. He has also informed Sánchez that the 130,000 tests they have sent this week have a very limited scope, which means that they work but do not distinguish if the patient who tests positive is passing the disease at the moment and it is contagious, or has already passed and is not contagious. He also spoke about the problems on the social field discussed with the government, such as information on the reactivation of certain sectors or what is the intention for the day when mobility restrictions are lifted. Finally, he sent a message of thanks and encouragement to the health and social health professional who is giving everything in hospitals and residences to take care of everyone, and in a special way to professionals in primary care.
Junta Andalucía installed teleassistance devices to more than 500 elders who live alone in the province of Málaga, who will now have direct attention just by pressing a button.
The Ministry of Equality and Social Policies will carry out the installation of the Andalusian Telecare Service, also known as SAT, to 595 elders who live alone in the province of Málaga in a situation of greater vulnerability since that the state of alarm was decreed by COVID-19. The total in Andalusia will be 3,255 people. Faced with the scenario caused by the coronavirus, the government agreed, among other containment measures, to suspend the installation of remote assistant devices, while retaining those of critical maintenance that impose the impossibility or difficulty of connection of the domiciliary device with the attention centers. However, the Andalusian government has decided to continue with this measure to alleviate the current social emergency situation, especially before a group as vulnerable as the elderly. These 599 people will be able to contact the service with the push of a button and will receive direct and personalized attention to any type of need 24 hours a day, with immediate response to emergency situations, mobilizing the necessary resources. 740 additional advanced remote assistant devices, such as smoke and gas safety detectors, will be installed as a priority in the province of Malaga to users who live alone, the total in Andalusia being 5,877 devices. The SAT currently serves more than 37,000 elders in situations of dependency or with disabilities in the province of Malaga, 233,000 throughout Andalusia, of which 70% live alone in their homes. The Andalusian Teleassistance Service is playing an essential role in the crisis caused by the coronavirus in its work of accompaniment and care for the elderly and people in situations of dependency. This role is even more important in the cases of users who live alone, in most cases elderly people for whom telecare is in many cases the only contact they have with the outside world. Telecare is an essential benefit to face situations like the one we live in, providing the tranquility and security that older people need, in addition to alleviating situations of solitude and social isolation. At these times, it is important to ensure emotional support for older people, since, in many cases, they face a situation of isolation that increases their feeling of fear and bewilderment.
And these are today's headlines. Municipal employment plans to reactivate the economy. ACE values positively City Hall fiscal measures. Local police organizes a drawing competition. More than 1,800 patients recover in Andalusia. Teleassistant devices to care for our elders. The weather forecast for the weekend will leave us with cloudy or overcasted skies with scattered showers, more likely in the Sarkia region, without ruling out that they are accompanied by storms and mud deposits. Temperatures unchanged with east components winds more intense in the interior. Scattered showers are not ruled out, which may be accompanied by a storm inside. And that's all. Thanks for watching us, and remember, you can stay updated on our website or social media profile on Facebook. Have a good night, enjoy the weekend, and remember, stay at home.